From Hackensack, New Jersey, is Joe Cortez. Introducing first in the blue corner. He's wearing the blue trunks with white trim and weighs an even 118 pounds from Caracas, Venezuela. His professional record, 17-2-2, 12 knockouts. He is the #1 ranked contender in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Bernardo Pinango. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim and letters, weighing an even 118 pounds, from Laredo, Texas. His professional record, 33-2, 26 big knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBA bantamweight champion of the world, Gaby Canizales.
Joe Cortez brings the boxers to center ring for the final instructions, and Gaby Canizales in his first title defense, 28 years of age, from Laredo, Texas, and he came in right at the limit of 118, as did the challenger Pinango. Pinango, rated #1 by the WBA, 26 years of age, from Caracas, Venezuela, as we mentioned, now living in Panama, where he's had his last 3 fights and has won them all, 17-2-2 with 12 knockouts. And Canizales in his first title defense. What a thrill it must be for him, having won the crown from the previously undefeated Richie Sandoval. A very worthy champion indeed. Canizales, one of his only 2 losses, had been in a title bid against Jeff Chandler. Canizales in white and Pinango in the blue trunks. First of 3 championship bouts on our Showtime telecast tonight. Jim Ryan with Gil Clancy and marvelous Marvin Hagler, our special guest commentator.
Tim, it's surprising to see Canizales moving away in boxing. Usually he's moving that head trying to slip and bang, but he's boxing right now.
Part of that, do you suppose, the fact that he can't know very much about Pinango? In fact, I think it was difficult to locate videotape or films of this guy. Is it maybe learning about him here in round 1?
I think it's going to take him to round 1 just to get settled, just to get the feeling of this guy. As you can see by his slick, he's sneaky out there.
Pinango stands 5'7". That's tall for a bantamweight. 3-inch height advantage over the champion.
I expect Gaby to throw a lot of overhand rights in this fight tonight. Right over the jab.
You know, Tim, a guy with Canizales' style, when he starts slipping punches and countering, sometimes being shorter is an advantage rather than a disadvantage.
Well, I always like the taller guys.
Anyone in particular, Marvin?
As long as they got hair on them. I noticed that Gaby don't have that much sweat on him right now, either in the first round.
Under a minute to go in this first round, scheduled for 15 under WBA rules.
You suppose they didn't warm him up at all in the dressing room?
I don't know. I think he's trying to get his accuracy together here, the space between the 2 of them. Then he probably let that overhand right go that I was telling you about tonight.
Well, you like the overhand right, and I like the left hook, Marvin.
All right. I think he's going to finish him up with the left hook, though.
Now, wait a minute. You can't have both. Which is it?
Under 30 seconds to go in this first round, and so far the challenger Pinango looking very much a poised and experienced veteran. 35 fights for the champion. 21 for the challenger. Final seconds of round number 1. Well, we'll go into the corner of the champion, Gaby Canizales, and see what his people have to say. Luis Mendoza, Ronaldo Infante. And the cheer is not for their instructions, it's for the ring card lady.
paso de lento. Ponte a trabajar tu rapidez, que es muy fuerte tuyo. No, te vi que agarraste el paso de él.
Well, one thing I can tell you about these, both cornermen know what they're saying over there.
That's true. Joe Clancy's excellent high school Spanish and years in the gym with people like Rodrigo Valdez. No doubt he'll be able to interpret for us here.
Sure.
Positively. If I can only hear them.
I think the second round is going to be a lot different this time.
Well, they really got on Canizales' case, Tim.
Pinango looks real slick, real calm, like he knows he's out there to do a job.
Round number 2 scheduled for 15.
You see the cautiousness is kind of left so far in the second round. Well, they got Gaby coming out throwing.
Yeah, definitely. He picked it up considerably.
Whoa.
He takes a left hook from the challenger. That'll wake him up, too.
That woke him up, definitely.
Put him to sleep, one or the other.
Pinango looks like a very, very awkward guy to me. He throws wide punches and slow punches.
Yeah, but when they hit, they probably hurt when they land. But he caught Gaby right on the jaw with that left hook, and nothing happened.
Pinango with 12 KOs in his 17 victories, but not against anybody you've ever heard of.
Well, as Gaby's the champion, and he's got to establish his own ground right now.
He's backing up. So far, Pinango's been backing him up. Continues to back him up.
Well, you know, for the challenger, if you want the championship, you got to go out and take it from him, because he ain't going to give it to you.
Joe Cortez asking for the break, and Pinango continuing to press here in round number 2.
Pinango does open up those hooks real wide. He could be vulnerable for a straight right hand if he don't throw it real quicker from Gaby.
Canizales is having trouble slipping Pinango's awkward punches. That's the reason he hasn't been able to counter as yet.
Well, what I like about him is Pinango is that he's using both hands in this fight. And that's what it takes.
There's a right hand by the champion.
There's my overhand, right?
1-0, Marvin.
Under a minute to go, round 2.
You notice the face on Gaby now starting to look more and more like Roberto Duran when he gets that snarl.
But he's still backing up.
What surprises what I like about Gaby is that he can't box.
Under the 30-second mark we go. Right hand.
That's the punches you got to put together. The nice speedy punches like that.
Canizales from Laredo, Texas. The challenger Pinango from Caracas, Venezuela.
No question, Canizales has the faster hands. I'd like to see him.
There you go. There you go. Somebody's going out there.
That hurt him. Left hook. Solid to the face of the challenger Pinango. Final seconds. Round 2.
What they say is heating up, girls. Heating up.
Todo el tiempo. Como te repito, las quintas.
Maybe that little lecture over in the corner that time was good for him.
Doing it again.
Let's go back into that second round, and we'll see Canizales coming alive here. Overhand right, as predicted by Marvelous Marvin, landed. And he landed a good solid left hook in this round, too, which moved the challenger back right there, right to the ear.
Well, he's got his distance a lot better in there, you see now. Now he's getting a little meaner.
Pinango, it appeared to me, had the earlier part of that round, however. That's one of those rounds that's difficult to score. The challenger had the best of it, I thought, for more than the first half of the round, but the champion finished well. Now, who do you think, how do you think the judges saw it?
Well, it depends on which way they go, because Canizales had a lot more power on the end of his punches.
That's right. His punches were more effective, but Pinango was the busier man over the round.
Good left hand by Canizales. Beautiful feint and snappy left jab.
And he's taking the grounds now. He's showing who's the boss.
This is round 3. Marvelous Marvin Hagler joining Gil Clancy and Tim Ryan. We are live at the Brendan Byrne Arena in the Meadowlands, New Jersey. WBA Bantamweight Championship bout on Showtime.
Great snap. Gaby's got great snap, great hand speed. If you put those punches together, as small as these guys are, they throw thousands of punches, Gil.
Sometimes these lighter weights are the most exciting fights to watch, Marvin, especially if you know your boxing. You see the beautiful combinations.
Oh, nice moves. I like the fakes that Gaby's giving him a lot, you know.
There's a good right hand by the champion over the left.
Pinango does not get flustered at all, though. He's very, very calm, keeps pushing his punches.
No knockdown. It was a slip there on a miss. Pinango just did not move, and Canizales missed with a wild left and lost his balance.
To me, if I was Pinango, I would say, because he really swung that way.
I don't think Canizales is moving his hands enough. I think he has to get close and move those hands.
I agree with you. I think he's got to stay forward a little bit more instead of backing up. Because that's where this guy, Pinango, is catching him at the end of his punches as he's backing up out of there.
And he's throwing one punch at a time, Canizales.
You could hear the referee Joe Cortez talking to the boxers under a minute to go in round 3. And Joe, of course, bilingual, Spanish-English, so that's useful. The Latin-speaking, the Spanish-speaking Pinango and Gaby Canizales as well.
He seems real relaxed out there, though. Even though he's been caught with a couple punches, he's still keeping his cool. Looks like he's telegraphing his punches, this Pinango, but geez, he lands, though. It must hurt.
They're awkward punches, but they are landing.
Under the 30-second mark in round 3.
You hate to fight guys like that are very awkward. You got to go out there and just knock them out. They can make you look bad.
Ooh, big right by Canizales.
Best punch of the fight, and nothing happened.
Pinango stayed right there.
You can't take too many of those, though, Gil.
Coming to the end of round number 3. A better round for the champion Canizales, but what appeared to be a knockdown kind of blow had the challenger standing right there with a little reaction. Well, Jimmy Paul will be defending his IBF lightweight title following this WBA Bantamweight Championship bout, and there is the champion from Detroit, Michigan, from the Croc stable, and his thoughts about the challenger Cubanito Perez. Well, not a prediction, but a little bit. Let's hear him.
If I'm able to land a big, I do have a big right hand to land, and it's a matter of me taking Perez's right hand away from him. And if I land, I should be able to score a knockout, but I don't predict a knockout. I think that I'm going to box it, you know, and if I get Perez in trouble, then I think I'm going to go for the knockout.
Well, Jimmy Paul stopping short of saying he was literally going to knock out Perez with a right hand, but he knows that's his best weapon and feels that if he lands it, anybody's going to go. And that fight follows this one, the IBF Lightweight Championship. And when he retires from the game, he might be able to replace Joe Williams as a great blues singer. He's got some kind of pipes, that Jimmy Paul. Beautiful voice. All right, this is round number 4. Gonzalez rallying in the 3rd round as we saw it with his best round of the early going. The champion, Canizales.
You know, Pinango looked a little discouraged with himself at the end of that last round before the bell. I wonder if it still has any effect on him right now.
Seems to be very, very calm, sure of himself to me.
Bernardo Pinango in the blue trunks.
You wouldn't think that those lazy punches like that would connect.
Well, he landed a few in that exchange with Canizales not throwing much back.
That's been the pattern of the fight since it started. I'm surprised that Canizales against Sandoval, he was a beautiful combination puncher.
I noticed noticing that Pinango, he's starting to use the uppercuts now a lot more when he gets in tight, to the body and to the chin.
Do you know that you spar with a guy that has a similar style to Pinango?
Yeah.
You know who it is?
No, who is
Buster Drayton.
Oh.
Same kind of punches.
Yeah, that's right. Them awkward punches, you know.
We'll see Buster Drayton later tonight for the vacant IBF junior middleweight crown against ex-champ Carlos Santos. Good solid right by the champion landed there, but again, didn't move Pinango at all. Another right hand.
This guy looks like he's on a mission. He's just blind. All he wants to do is just win. This Pinango.
He's not letting anything bother him. He's sticking to his fight plan. He's liable to nail Canizales with one of those right hands if Canizales keeps throwing right hand leads.
A left hand and then a low blow. And a warning from Joe Cortez.
But I think that Pinango's got the right attitude to come into this fight for a championship bout. He's got the right attitude. Nothing's bothering him. He's staying to his game plan. And he's trying to put his punches together, and he's using both hands.
Well, he's obviously bothering Canizales. This is not the same Canizales that we saw against Sandoval thus far.
Well, it could be a system that he's trying to wear this guy down. It takes a little bit more time to figure out his awkwardness.
We're in round 4, scheduled for 15. Gaby Canizales, his first title defense. He did not have to take the #1 ranked Pinango in this fight, but he opted to. And it does do away with his mandatory defense against the #1 rated Pinango, and that's, of course, provided that he wins the fight.
My first outing was with a #1 contender, too, and the one knew about. That was Fulio Bell.
That's right.
I wish more champions had that attitude. It'd be better for boxing.
Sure.
Final seconds of the 4th round. And a good round for the challenger, as I saw it at least. Pinango having the better of the champion in the 4th round, and we're in his corner now. Managed by the experienced Luis Zapata, trained by Pedro Avila. And also in the corner, Hilario Zapata, the flyweight champion. You can't see him in this picture, but there you see Zapata just at the top left of your screen with the mustache. Now back in round number 4, combination by the challenger.
All right, there was a 6-punch, 7-punch, 8-punch combination, 9 punches, 10, without Canizales throwing a punch back.
And even though he did block many of those, as you point out, he didn't throw anything back. So you know the officials naturally have to score that heavily for Pinango. Judges, Lorenzo Drake from New York, Riel Aguilar from Colombia, and Ovi Olvesen from Denmark on the 10-point must system. Round number 5.
Pinango seems like he's going to come out this round and do a little bit more boxing, I believe. Trying to use a jab a little more.
It seems to me that Canizales is fighting the wrong fight. I think he should be slipping punches, trying to counter and try to throw combinations. Instead, he's trying to outbox a much taller guy.
And he's being vulnerable for those open hooks.
That's right. Anytime you get a wide puncher, you want to stay inside. You don't want to stay outside.
Exactly. See, this is stuff that he's getting hit with.
Pinango landed a right hand to the ear of the champion.
What gets me, Gaby's got to see those punches coming and just can't get away from them. I like the way Pinango comes to fight, though. You got to give him credit. Either you're going to knock me out or I'm going to knock you out. He knows that this is for all the ball of wax.
Well, he's back. He's backed Canizales up since the opening bell.
Maybe there's a little respect in there on Gaby's part. Wild swings like that, you got to make guys pay for it so they don't make the same mistake again.
You read my mind. I was just going to ask you that question.
All right. Trying to close in. I'm curious to see what's going to happen once they stop and start just banging.
Well, that's the moment of truth that usually happens sometime in the fight.
Exactly.
Right now, it's tactical warfare. But again, Pinango's able to get away with those wild swings. He doesn't have to pay.
Exactly. Canizales is not blocking him that well either. He's getting tagged with them punches, and they don't really look like they should be effective.
Under a minute to go in round 5.
He's probably confusing him.
I've scored 2 rounds for Pinango, and there's a solid left by the challenger, and that backed up Canizales.
Nice
solid punches. And Canizales looks worried right now.
He was hurt by that left hand.
I think he's going to start going to his game plan, start fighting the inside. I think that's where he's going to be much better at.
Well, he better start doing something.
Stay close to this guy. He's got long arms. You guys with long arms, they like they can reach you all the way across the ring.
As soon as you get off the stool, you get hit.
Coming to the end of the 5th round, scheduled for 15. Gaby Canizales in the white trunks, defending against Bernardo Pinango in blue. And having his hands full with this champion, the unknown quantity, rated #1 from Caracas, Venezuela, his first appearance here in the U.S. And in the corner of the champion, they have to be a little bit concerned. Let's go back into the 5th round action.
Again, Pinango, as awkward as the punches are, he's putting together. He's throwing 6, 7, 8 punches at a time. Canizales, 1 at a time or none.
With that last punch, that corner was a half uppercut and a half hook. With the left hand. Very effective.
Mira, Gaby, es muy importante que saques tu izquierda con tu rápida. Perdiendo.
Luis Mendoza giving his champion what for. You didn't have to understand Spanish to know that they're a little concerned, not pleased with the performance of Canizales thus far.
Do you notice all the water that's on Pinango, though? On his trunks are soaked right now, and his body's dripping with water instead of sweat.
You know, Marvin, I work with a lot of Latin fighters. Oscar Bonaveno, Alex Mittev, Rocky Rivera, quite a few. And the Latin trainers love to douse their fighters with water. A couple of times I thought they were going to drown the guy.
I don't think that wakes him up. When I fight, I'm soaking wet just like that. Doesn't take me long to heat up.
Well, you can see these two guys are knockout artists, as their records would indicate, and the average rounds per bout that they have fought. They're into round number 6 now, so this is about the usual distance that they work.
Well, you know what I love about this fight? You definitely have to keep your eyes on both guys, because they are explosive with both hands, and this fight can end any time.
One punch can change an entire fight, but right now, Canizales' best weapon is the jab, and it's only one punch at a time, where Pinango is throwing punches and bunches. There's the jab, but it's one at a time.
Let's put something else behind that. Every time he leans back to get out of a way of a hook, he gets tagged with it. I noticed that Pinango's trying to set up his own pace, and this is what Gaby's got to do. He's got to break that rhythm.
They landed a right and then a left, the champion, Canizales.
He's really snapping that jab in there now. But again, when he knocks Pinango off balance, he's got to jump in quickly with another combination.
Instead, he backs up out of there, and that's when Pinango hit him with that long hook. I noticed that Gaby really doesn't move his head that much, you know, for a small guy. He really don't move his head that much. Usually these kind of guys here, basically a lot of bob and weavers.
That's right. He's surprising me tonight. I saw him slip punches a lot better than he's doing tonight.
Sure.
We're in the 6th round, scheduled for 15. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
You know, he's
Canizales and Pinango.
It's Pinango. He's really not trying to put any power on it, but he's just getting them out. And that's what can frustrate a fighter. Nice left hook. Let's see if they've done anything.
Good left hook inside, counterpunch by the champion.
They're clashing a little bit with those heads in there now. I think he's coming to fight now, Bill.
Well, 2 or 3 punch combination. That's a change.
I think Gaby's got to come. He's got to take it to this guy now.
2 right hands by the champion. Those got Pinango's attention, and that's the end of round number 6.
That's the way he's got to fight.
And later, following this bout, will be the IBF Lightweight Championship, and here is the challenger, Cubanito Perez. And Cubanito Perez, born in Cuba, hence that nickname, and now living in California, will be taking on the champion, Jimmy Paul, from Detroit, Michigan, and it should be a most exciting lightweight title bout. Perez has been well regarded for a long time. He's lost only once in his career, a controversial close loss to Hector Camacho. And many people feel that he really could have been a champion well before now. Well, he's got a chance tonight to lift the title from Jimmy Paul. In his dressing room, you're seeing live shots here as it warms up at the IBF title. Cubanito Perez and Jimmy Paul to follow our WBA Bantamweight Championship bout. There's the challenger on the left of your screen, Bernardo Pinango, and the champion, Gaby Canizales in white.
I think Gaby's coming right at him now. I think he filtered out what this guy is made of, and he's going to try to execute now.
Good combination by the champion. Snap back the head of Pinango.
Well, let's see if he can maintain. He took control at the end of the last round. It's important for him to put the rounds together back-to-back.
This is what he's doing now. I think he's coming to fight right now. He's got to show him what a champion is all about.
Well, he's backing Pinango up now for the first time in the fight.
And this is exactly what he's got to do all through the fight.
Again, Canizales backed himself up again. He does not have to back up.
I'm telling you, he just got caught. He paid for it, too. Pinango's very slippery with the uppercuts. He slide them in on both sides. When you bend down, there's something coming right back, and it's an uppercut. When he throws overhand right, he comes back with the left uppercut.
Combination scored by the challenger.
Why Pinango is doing so good is because he's throwing 3 and 4 punches. He's not just throwing 1 and 2 punches. All I can say in this round is heated up.
Pinango has very good concentration.
Right hand landed by Canizales. Pinango keeps coming forward.
You know, guys like this, when they fight with all their heart like that, when they go out after being knocked out, they're out for a while. They're really hurt. If it ain't from exhaustion, it's from fighting real hard.
Under a minute to go, round number 7. Good combination by Canizales.
Those are the kind of shots he's got to do, real quick ones. Take advantage of
When he lands a good shot like that, though, Tim, he has to jump right back in and throw 3 or 4 more.
Right, he hasn't done that. He's thrown a combination and then backed up almost consistently throughout.
He stops to admire his work.
Right hand lead scored by the champion. Counter back from Pinango.
Good right hand by Pinango.
There you go. He's got to come right back with him.
Toe-to-toe, a little glove slapping by Pinango, saying, I like this. Let's keep it going.
Good fake. Fake to the body, then he jabbed him right to the head. Good fake.
Coming to the end of the 7th round.
Every time he pulls back, he's got to stay tight, or either keep the head down when he backs up out of there.
How do you score that round, gentlemen? You like the champion, Gil?
Yeah, you'd have to go with the champion. More aggressive that round.
Tienes que ir mejorando, ¿viste? Ahora otra cosa. Ese gancho, búscamelo.
Luis Mendoza with his instructions for the champion. Pride of Laredo, Texas. Gaby Canizales.
En ningún momento lo pierdas de vista, ¿oíste? En ningún momento lo pierdas de vista.
And going back into the action in the 7th round. The challenger, Pinango, not on the end of his punches, but busy, throwing more in combinations than the champion Canizales, but the better shots in that round were scored by the champion. Pinango to his feet early here, ready to go. Round number 8. Close fight to this point in the 8th round. Scheduled for 15. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, and marvelous Marvin Hagler. And on my card, I've got 3 rounds for Canizales and 3 rounds for Pinango and 1 even. So that's a dead even count going into the 8th round. Whether the judges see it that way, as always, must be left open to question. A right hand scored by the champion.
Fight is a dead even fight, in my opinion, right now, Tim. Canizales ran out of his corner like he was really going to do something. Now he's backing up again.
Those shots right there dangerous by Gaby backing up. If his hands are down, one of them are going to land right on that chin, or if it hits you right in the temple. Those are shots you can't shake.
Garvin, do you want to be closer to a guy like this? I mean, you're always the shorter man most of the time in your title fights, and you've been in against tall guys, as we all know. You want to get closer than Canizales?
Let's see how much you can take in his body. Let him throw them outside punches. Let's get it inside. Every time they go over my shoulder, I should be able to hit him with something.
That's the key. When you make the guy miss counter, that's when you really hurt a guy, when he's coming in following his punch. But so far, all of Canizales' punches have been leads.
And he's backing up and he's on the road. Very dangerous spot to be at.
If I was a trainer in Canizales going, I'd tell him, put your forehead right on this guy's chest and just keep banging to the body and throwing combinations.
That's the way it should be. See what he's got. He's got to test this guy. Because he's sure trying to test the champion, I'm going to tell you. There you go. He's got to put the punches in combination, Gaby does. Instead of 1 and 2 punch. I noticed that he's not faking as much as he was in the earlier rounds.
Left hook scored by Canizales. Under a minute to go. Round 8. There's a 2-punch combination landed by the champ.
Those are the close shots that we're talking about.
That's where he should be. Now stay there, Canizales.
Make him come up.
Canizales trained by Ronaldo Infante, managed by Luis Mendoza. As a veteran cutman Eddie Aliano in his corner.
He's got to stay right on him. He's got to stay on him.
Veteran Panamanian, the manager of the Challenger. Good combination by Pinango.
I would say they both absorbed some good punches here so far up until around 8.
See, the one thing that Pinango does, when he lands one punch, he'll throw 3 or 4 behind it. And Gaby so far has not.
I don't know whether or not Gaby's trying to save it for the last rounds or what. But I think he better get going here. He's already in the 8th round.
The end of round number 8 scheduled for 15. And don't forget 2 more championship bouts to follow on our Triple Crown of Boxing tonight. The IBF Lightweight Championship is next. And there is the champion from the Kronk stable in Detroit under Emmanuel Stewart, Jimmy Paul. Calm, cool, and collected as always. And got up to just do a little shadow boxing when he saw the camera on him. Jimmy is just a super attitude of a champion. Very confident. Knocked out 18 of his 25 opponents thus far. And that bout will be followed by the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship. The vacant crown will be fought for between Buster Drayton and the former champion Carlos Santos. And that is our featured event of the evening at 154 pounds. So lots more to follow as we await round 9 of this WBA Bantamweight Championship bout. There is the challenger, the unknown Bernardo Pinango from Venezuela, ranked number 1 by the WBA, and so far has proven to be a very worthy opponent for the champion Canizales.
You know, Marvin, you said that maybe Canizales is saving it for the end. I know when I trained fighters, there was no such a thing as pacing yourself. They were supposed to be in shape to fight 15 rounds or 12 rounds or whatever it was at top speed.
Exactly.
And I always felt if you told a fighter, take it easy for a round or try to save yourself, you throw the guy out of gear, a lot of times he can't get back in gear.
Get him back in there. Especially by being champion, you know that this guy is out to take everything from you. You really got to look impressive out there. But what's good about this fight is he's fighting the #1 contender, so you know this guy's no fluke.
Well, he was the silver medalist in the Olympics, and he lost to Juan Hernandez, a Cuban, who was a heck of a fighter. So he must be a pretty good, solid background as a fighter.
Well, Gaby's got him reaching right now. He just got to take advantage of that. Execute those where he's reaching at. Shoot the straight right hands as he's throwing those big wide left hooks. Shoot the straight, the snappy left jabs as he's trying to round them off with the right hooks. He's got to beat him to the punch, Gil.
Marvin, he's still backing up as far as I see. And when he gets in position, when he's in close, he's letting the other guy do all the punching.
Yeah.
And that's when he should be punching.
On these last exchanges, Pinango's really been open, too, to counter punches, and Canizales hadn't punched back.
I notice his trunks are now soaking wet, dripping with water. Pinango's.
They must weigh about 4 pounds right now.
Oh. Pinango try to throw overhand right there. Look at the uppercut with the left. Still throwing punches like you said, Gil. He never stops after he throws a punch. He continues. Nice uppercut.
Uppercut lead landed.
He's doing a job on Canizales this round.
Every way that he goes, he's got a glove looking at him. Hello.
Canizales lands a good snappy jab and then backs up.
He's safer in the inside.
Well, we're not working the corner, Marvin, so we can't tell him that.
Under a minute to go in round 9. Scheduled for 15, the first title defense for Gaby Canizales, and he's got his hands full. Left hand scored by the challenger, and continues to back up the champion in this round.
He's definitely putting the pressure on him, that's for sure. Putting the pressure on the champion.
Biggest round of the fight so far. And it's all Pinango.
I would have to shoot with Canizales. If I was Canizales, I have to shoot this guy's made up now because he threw a lot of punches at me that round. I would have to test him.
And Pinango landing a 2-punch combination from the left side.
Very awkward, but his punches are very effective. You can tell that both men are in tremendous shape because they couldn't absorb the kind of punishment.
Final seconds of the 9th round. A difficult one for the champion, and Pinango, the challenger, got to feel good about that one. As we head to his corner, Luis Clara, Pedro Avila.
They're soaking him with water again. He won't have to take a shower after the fight. He's taking it now.
You know, when we went into Jimmy Paul's dressing room and he jumped up when he saw the camera, we were speculating at the time, well, what goes on with these guys getting ready for the fight? We tried to do that to you in your Mugabe fight, and the door was locked. Our guys were knocking on the door. They couldn't get in. What were you up to in there, Marvin?
Exactly, because I know that my opponent over there is watching the same screen. I keep them in suspense until I get out here to the ring.
Is that when you get your game face on in there?
Yeah, some guys need all that camera stuff. I don't. So I'm here for one job.
Marvelous Marvin, you knock on the door and nobody answers, but he's getting ready for his fight.
Might hear growl.
Round number 10. Gil Clancy, Tim Ryan, Marvin Hagler, and the champion Canizales, having lost on our cards that last round almost totally over the 3 minutes to the challenger Pinango. Still very close as we see it through the first 9 rounds, but Pinango is certainly giving Canizales a real test.
Canizales still moving into the right position. Just what this guy wants him to do is to back up out of there so he's right in range. And he's catching the champion with those kind of punches.
I think Canizales is going to have to land a big punch because I think this guy is just taking over right about now.
Oh, he's not giving him any respect. Got to make him respect you.
He's outworking Canizales like 3 or 4 to 1.
This guy's expression never changed either.
Pinango doesn't look to me like a big puncher, but Canizales has been an easy target for him to hit.
Well, I've seen Canizales in kind of fights like this before, and he'll hang tough, and hopefully that he'll get one across maybe later on in the rounds.
Challenger continuing to outwork the champion.
The champion is not using 2 hands. He's only using 1 hand.
Just got nailed with a good left hook by Pinango. Good left hook.
Pinango is ready to gamble. He don't care. He's going to gamble. Look at this, see?
2 good lefts scored by Pinango.
He's got to stay in tight. Right now, Gaby's fighting. He's fighting. Pinango got him fight just the way he wants him. He likes him out there moving like that, right on the end of his punches. Hey, you couldn't ask for a better night.
Under a minute to go in the 10th round. He's scheduled for 15 WBA championship distance.
It's amazing. Again, we don't know what they're telling him in the corner, but you think he'd try something different. Bend your knees, get low.
Gotta stay low.
Try something different. Instead, he's staying within perfect range of Pinango's punches.
And Gil, now there is a slight cut on the face of the champion, Canizales. It looks to me like it may be just under the right eye, but we'll wait till we get a closer view.
I think Canizales is kind of confused still. I think maybe he haven't figured this guy out yet. Or either he's giving this guy too much respect.
Well, you know, like some fighters will tell you when you get back in the dressing room after they lost, I want this guy again. Right. I always tell him, you just have it.
Nice. Now, move in there. Take advantage of it. Great shots, and then Canizales backed up again.
Coming to the end of the 10th round, and Pinango no respect for the champion. And there is a slight cut, and it looks like it's under the right eye, which would not be a problem if it's under, but we'll wait and see as Eddie Aliano goes to work.
I noticed by his mouthpiece being red, that doesn't look too good.
And it's over. It is over his right eye where they're applying the pressure. So the champion now not only having difficulty with Pinango out punching him, but now, as you can see, there's the little nick right under the eyebrow. Could be a problem.
And that's in a bad spot. It's under the eyebrow and the eye socket. And the doctor is in the ring looking at the cut now. I don't think it's serious enough for them to stop it, especially in a championship fight. But it is a problem. And I remember in the Sandoval fight, when Canizales got cut, then he fought the worst round of the fight. It took him about a round to get himself back together after he got cut.
Well, they won that title from Sandoval, a 7th round knockout, the unbeaten champion of the canvas 5 times. And here he is in his first defense. And in great difficulty against Bernardo Pinango.
Well, these kind of fights like this shows you what it is to be a champion. Then you know how hard it is.
If you just watch Canizales' feet, you'll just see him edge back, edges back, edges back, stays within perfect punching range for Pinango to nail him with those wide punches. Just watch the feet for a while. He's backing up, backing up, backing up.
He's got him on the end of every one of his punches. Pinango does.
Just watch Canizales' feet. He just edges back, edges back, edges back. Now we'll go back a little bit further. There he goes back again.
He might have too many moves for him, you know? Because Gaby's just really throwing the same kind of combination. There's no left hook after the right hand after he fires it like that. Where was the left hook? Should follow up with his punches.
Talking to the Latin broadcasters about Pinango, they said that they thought he could win this fight if he stayed cool. He said part of his reputation in the past got a little too excited.
Well, he's been very, very cool tonight.
Been super cool and confident.
He's doing just about what he wants now.
He's sticking to his game plan. He must feel as though that Gaby the champion can't hurt him at all.
I think he decided that about 3 or 4 rounds ago. In fact, he hasn't really been wrapped since about round 6.
And Tim, he's not taking a deep breath. He's in great condition.
You know, that's right, because he's got to upset his tempo. The champion's got to upset the challenger's tempo. He's got his own pace in there, and he's taking his time, and the champion is the one who's running. He's doing all the movement, wasting a lot of energy.
1, 2, 3 again by Pinango. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even though they don't land, but he's moving his hands. And that's what Canizales has not been doing since the opening bell.
What I like to see in the first round is that he was using both hands, and that's very important in a championship fight. There's Canizales holding on to the right hand. He should have let it go. He used 2 double left hooks.
Round number 11.
Really, Canizales' best weapon the entire fight has just been that snappy jab. Outside that, he hasn't shown too much of anything.
Well, he's got to step in with it and keep it in there. And he stepped back, and you can only catch a puncher on the end of his punches.
He just keeps edging back.
Right in his zone.
He can't go back any further. The ropes are there. What did we used to say? If the ropes weren't there, back into the dressing room?
Well, Eddie Aliano did a good job on the cut. Did not become a factor in the 11th round.
Well, he has one of the best in the business in Eddie Aliano.
There he goes again, stepping back right in the range.
The end of round number 11, and a confident-looking challenger has taken things away over the last 3 rounds on our scorecards and has the lead in this bout. And they got to feel good about how things are going over there for Bernardo Pinango. Born in Caracas, now living in Panama. Don't forget, upcoming, the IBF Lightweight Championship will be next. And there is the challenger for the crown, held by Jimmy Paul. His name is Cubanito Perez. Born in Cuba, now living in Las Vegas. Longtime resident of California since immigrating from Cuba with his family. And college student, real bright young guy, and one of the nicest people in the game. At age 27, getting his title opportunity against the very solid Jimmy Paul, champion of the International Boxing Federation. That is next up after our WBA.
I can feel what he's feeling right now, and I bet you he didn't fought that fight already.
Cubanito sounded like you had a little music going in there, so everybody does it differently, that pre-fight preparation.
Exactly.
All right, this is round number 12. Canizales in white, the champion. Pinango in blue, the challenger, has had the better of it as we have seen it over the last 3 rounds particularly.
Marvin, how many years has it been since you lost a fight?
10 years.
But then I was just going to ask you if you could ever remember back when you were in a situation like this with Canizales where you just couldn't get yourself on track.
Exactly. I think in the Philadelphia fight there with Willie Monroe at one time. But you just have to keep going. You can't just let up. But hopefully, hoping that something will turn around. Maybe a cut on him or something that will pick you up. But he's starting to zoom right in on him right now.
The thing that gets me is he's not counter-punching. If he gets hit or if he's... I would tell my fighters, if the guy hits you, punch back. If you slip a punch, punch back.
Exactly. What he's got to do is go for tat for tat. Tat for tat. He's taking more punishment. I'm looking at the swelling around the face from the left hook.
Pinango has lifted his pace too. I think he has a sense of victory in this fight, and he's been lifting his game in these last few rounds, really taking it away from the champion.
Well, I see the champion really going to have to knock this guy out in order to win.
I say it's that way right now myself. I don't think Gaby can win any longer unless he does score a knockout.
Well, I've got 6 rounds for Pinango for sure, and 2 what I call swing rounds where the judges might choose to go his way. There's a big left hand by the champion.
Now you got to try it again, but you got to lose, right? Shoot it again.
Well, again, he landed the big left hook, and he just stood there, and Pinango snapped him.
There's that follow-up that I was talking about. No follow-up.
Well, the thing is, when he's landed a good punch like that, he hasn't bothered Pinango. I think only once did he actually move him back on his heels. He hasn't been able to hurt him, and that's got to start to become discouraging. When you're looking for that one-punch knockout to get yourself back in, or a one-punch knockdown or a knockout punch. And when you land a couple of good ones, it's got to be discouraging if the guy doesn't move him, Marvin.
Definitely. Well, you know what you have to do. Either you have to go in speed or find some kind of other strategy. And you should have about 2 or 3 different strategies to go in before you come into a fight if it's not working.
That's where that plan A and plan B came into play.
That's Buster Drayton's.
We'll be hearing from Buster Drayton on that score later. On our Showtime Championship Boxing Triple Crown, he'll be meeting Carlos Santos for the IBF Junior Middleweight title.
You know, he's overcoming Canizales like a wave going over somebody. He's just dominating him.
He's showing him his skills. He's trying to figure out to show you that I'm better than you, and he's just putting his combinations and everything. Anything you do, I got a combination for it, just like that. He's taking his time. He's got a good pace. I mean, why rush him?
At the end of round number 12, and another big round as we saw it for the challengers. Gaby Canizales, that'll be some concern, serious concern in his corner right now.
On a table over there. Safe, over there. Right behind you.
Ya se quitó, ya se estuvo. Ya estuvo. Gaby. Unos cabezos, por favor. No hay necesidad.
Let's look at earlier in the round. Let's see what's happening out here right now. A couple of good jabs by Pinango. And there's the best left hook that Canizales has landed in a long time. What did he do? He backed up after he landed the punch. That's been the pattern of the fight.
Why don't you take my picture while I'm here?
That's right.
Gaby Canizales, a champion, in some serious difficulty as we'll head into round 13, scheduled for 15. Jim Ryan, Gil Clancy, Marvelous, Marvin Hagler, a very relaxed-looking challenger. He's looked the same way from the time the fight began. Bernardo Pinango. If you haven't heard of him before, you know who he is now.
Well, I have to give both of these guys credit. They are in tremendous shape. They've been punching ever since they've been in here, even though the champion haven't thrown that many punches. But he's still in this game, though. This fight is not over by no means.
Well, Marvin, unless Canizales scores a knockout, I think the fight is virtually over. Pinango, they said they were worried about him losing his temper, but he's virtually emotionless. He just goes on and on and on.
Well, you got to do something to rile this guy up in there.
Well, so far, Canizales isn't doing it. Fighting the same fight from the opening bell, backing up. Again, it's 5-6 punches, as awkward as they were, to none for Canizales.
And they landed. Somebody's going to be very sore if he don't learn how to fight back.
What do you think Goody Petronella would be saying to you if you were fighting that kind of a fight?
Put the pressure right on his ass. Put the pressure right on him and stay on top of him. Well, that's trainer talk. Sorry.
He hasn't been able to do that at all, though. All the things we've talked about, Canizales has just either chosen not to or has been unable to execute.
Pinango's confidence has been growing with every round.
Yes, it has. That's what's really apparent.
He's just putting a beating on him now.
Gaby Canizales must be wondering what he got himself into here, taking this #1 in his first title defense.
Well, I tell you, it can't be any harder than this after this fight, huh?
Well, that's for sure. But the way things are going, we're going to have a new champion.
He's just popping him at will from both hands. Even turned southpaw on him right there.
Grabbed him around the neck, Tim. That time it looked like he was going to mug him.
We have a fighter in our gym, this Erwin Corrette, that fights somewhat similar like that with them big, open, wide left hooks.
Yeah, I've seen him fight. Very similar.
Got to take advantage of those misses.
Canizales hasn't counted all night long.
Under 30 seconds to go. Round 13.
Those are the punches you just got to let go. Let them go. You got to come back with more than one punch, though. That's what the champion has to do.
Coming to the end of the 13th round.
You believe, Gil, maybe he could be a little tight?
Something's wrong, Marvin. I don't know what.
Bernardo Pinango, another big round as we saw it, and he's only been the 10-round distance 5 times in his career, make it 6 times, pardon me. And he looks very fresh here on the 13th.
Profundo, eso.
Así, eso. La misma medicina.
Go back in and see some action in the 13th round, and Marvin, that confidence of the challenger just taking right over.
Feel like they're saying it do look like a mugging in here. But I think the champion should have stayed tight with him right here, just closing the ring on him. But yet he lets him move away, and then he moves away from him.
Para tu país, para tu familia, para ti, para todo.
The challenger seems very confident.
Sure does, and I think with good cause. The championship fight particularly is that old saying that you've got to take it away from the champion. Sometimes the judges are...
Does it have anything to do by him training in Panama?
Well, I'm sure that's been a big factor for Pinango. Apparently, he's a much improved fighter since making the move there.
Well, you know, Panama is south of the border, and he's thrown a few south of the border punches. But he's only been warned one time. There he is back down here again.
He throws about 4 different combinations off the left hand. There's one, you just seen 2 of them off of there.
See, there's 4 punches again. No answer by Canizales.
He's not fighting back.
He's fighting like he's in a trance. No fire. Now he's starting to swell underneath that right eye, besides to cut over the right eye.
There you go.
There's a good right hand.
Stays in tight like that. He can execute on those punches like that. Instead of moving away. You can't punch if you're moving away. You're too far distance. There you go. See, he's backing up again. You can't back up from this guy. You got to just throw punches. Get in tight, stay in tight, and throw punches.
Takes him too long to react. When he slips a punch or blocks a punch, he doesn't counter.
Well, he's starting to back him up a little bit now. Let's see what happens, Gil.
We are into the 14th round of this WBA Bantamweight Championship bout. Gaby Canizales in the white trunks, Bernardo Pinango the challenger. And as we see it, he has won the last 5 rounds on our card, and maybe we are about to see a title changing hands after just the first defense by Gaby Canizales, having won it from Richie Sandoval last March. Showtime Championship Boxing featuring the Triple Crown tonight with 2 more to follow. The IBF Lightweight bout between Jimmy Paul and Cubanito Perez, and the vacant IBF Junior Middleweight Championship with Buster Drayton and Carlos Santos. Tim Ryan with Joe Clancy and marvelous Marvin Hagler, watching an impressive performances in our view by the challenger Pinango, and a somewhat disturbing performance by Canizales, who didn't seem to have a real good plan. There's a good combination by Pinango.
Canizales, I wonder if maybe he had trouble making the weight, whatever it is. He's not the same strong fighter that fought Richie Sandoval. He doesn't seem to have the same fire, the same desire. And from the opening bell, he was trying to outsmart Pinango instead of out-punching him, which is what his forte is, punching.
Well, you know what most people have problems with once they win the championship is now you got all this fame and glory and more women than you could ever shake a hand at. You wonder if that can be taken a little bit on this fight also.
You said that, I didn't.
Final seconds of round number 14. And Gaby Canizales heads to his corner here, and certainly those guys there have to know that they're a champion in his very first title defense. It may be well on the verge of losing the crown to the challenge of Venezuelan Bernardo Pinango. In the Canizales corner, Luis Mendoza, Rinaldo Infante, trying to stir up the champion.
It's the last round coming up, Gaby. How you feel here? All right. You all right?
Bill Cortez, the referee, asking the champion how he feels. He said, all right, but it's going to be a little sore no matter what.
And Pinango was standing in his corner, waiting for the bell. That would be discouraging if you looked across the ring.
He's been up for a good 10 seconds or so. Looks very relaxed, looking over at marvelous Marvin, no doubt for approval. Come on, let's ring the bell here. I'm ready. And there's the champion, Canizales. 15th round. More swelling now over that right eye. The challenger did some more damage to it in round 14, and he'll have trouble seeing in this final round.
Right eye is virtually closed.
I really can't see the champion running now. This is the last round. You got to let it all hang out.
Well, he just cannot solve Pinango. He's backing away. He's
over the eye.
And a new cut over the left eye.
Right hand by Canizales.
A good right hand by the champion, but he has a cut now over his left eye.
Maybe this might make him fight a little harder. I know it does for me. When I see blood, I get meaner.
Frankly, I don't think he's got the weapons to stop Pinango.
No, Tim, he's been thoroughly beaten in this fight. No question about it. South American sources were very reliable. They said that this guy was a good fighter, and he sure is.
Bernardo Pinango from Caracas, Venezuela, now living in Panama. And now the champion's face, the bloody mask. Landed a counter there. That slowed up the challenger for a change, but there's just not been enough of that.
There he is, backing up again, Marvin, right into Pinango's punching range.
You hate to see a good champion like that go down like that.
You know, you mentioned that it's the good life, but in my experience, most of the time when a guy wins the title, he becomes a better fighter the first time out. But not Canizales.
Well, it depends on how bad you want it.
Bernardo Pinango, the silver medalist in the 1980 Olympics, as we see it on the verge of winning the WBA Bantamweight Championship at a record of 100 amateur victories against 20 defeats. As a pro, he is 17-2-2 with 1 no decision. Coming up from Panama to the Meadowlands in New Jersey with an impressive performance against Gaby Canizales. Final seconds of the fight. See what the judges have to say about things. It is. And the crowd here at the Brendan Byrne Arena applauding the performance of the challenger, and a happy corner as they think that he's going to be the winner there. Bernardo Pinango from Caracas, Venezuela. Well, gentlemen, what do you think as we await the decision?
New champion, definitely, no doubt about it. Champion just couldn't get off.
Absolutely right, just couldn't get off. Canizales looks like he was run over by a truck. The one eye is closed, the other eye is cut. He just could not get into the fight. For whatever reason, I don't know. They never changed his style, or he never changed his style. You don't know whose fault it is. He never tried anything differently from the opening bell.
Well, he should have had another strategy. And I think he should have practiced a little bit more to a fight to the inside, because that's where he needed to be tonight.
Let's take a look at the action now. Let's just see what was happening in the fight. What was the difference? There's a jab by Pinango, no counter.
Just stayed busy to use both hands in great combinations.
Well, there's a lot of jubilation in Pinango's corner. They seem sure that he's won the championship.
Well, I feel right that I think he did. He showed what it was about, and the champion just didn't fight his fight tonight. You can see that the champion, he's in tough shape, and I tell you, I know he can't wait to hit that nice hot bathtub.
with plenty of Epsom salts.
We've been through that many a night.
And what about a cold beer? Cold beer? Well, we're waiting for the decision. Another thing I'd like to bring out is the condition of Pinango. He boxed 15 rounds. He never took a deep breath. He looked the same way to start the 15th round as he did to start the first.
Well, he came to take it, and that's basically the way you got to do it. If you want the championship, you got to go and take it from the champ.
Well, they seem to be scrutinizing the decision there, Marvin. You know, stranger things have happened in boxing. I don't know. It seemed to me that Pinango clearly won the fight.
Well, it happened to me with Endopromo, so I can't tell you.
That's one of the things that happened to my hair, you know, waiting for those close decisions when I was sure my guys won.
Well, I won't have those problems.
Is that right? Well, now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffett for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Ove Sen scores at 146-142. Uriel Aguilera scores at 148-144. And Nicasio Drake scores at 147-138 for the winner. And new champion, Bernardo Pinango.
Well, just so we figured.
No question about that one.
Congratulations coming to him from the champion Gaby Canizales, who lost his crown. And Luis Spada, if you could interpret for us, I'd like to ask this young man if he felt as confident about winning as he appeared to be in the fight. He seemed to be very confident.
Si vos tenías confidencia en que ibas a ganar esta pelea en la misma forma que te mostraste confidente durante la pelea.
En verdad no pensé que, o sea, yo sabía que estaba haciendo un buen trabajo con la mano izquierda, pero en verdad no pensaba que, o sea, yo pensaba que era más difícil la pelea, que el muchacho me iba a presentar más peleas y en verdad no le sentí la mano en 2 ocasiones nada más.
He said that he was very confident. He was working with the left hand, and he was thinking that it's going to be more difficult, but thanks God he's a champion right now.
How much of the fact that here is an unknown boxer, the fact that he moved to Panama and has been in the influence of people like you and all of the great champions in Panama, does he credit that with helping him to win the championship?
Dice si la movida tuya a Panamá te sirvió para nueva técnica, como en Panamá hay tan buen boxeo y grandes campeones del mundo.
Indudablemente que Panamá me ha dado tremenda lección y yo aspiro a seguir entrenando en Panamá porque ya veo que allá hay muy buenos campeones, han salido bastante campeones y tienen un boxeo bastante depurado que es pegar y no hace pegar.
He said that he's very pleased to move to Panama because the boxing in Panama is a good style, and he's planning to stay in Panama to come back because in Panama we have good champions, and he appreciates the help that he gets from Panama.
Well, Hilario Zapata, of course, and Duran Pedrosa and many other great champions. Congratulations to you, Bernardo. A very great victory. Gaby Canizales losing his crown in his first title defense against a man who was an unknown in this country. Now you've met a new world champion. Bernardo.
Thank you.
No, déjame mandarle un saludo a Camacho de parte de su entrenador Pintón. Gracias.
Hello to his friend Macho Camacho, and he's very pleased, and thank you very much for everything.
Okay, Luis Spada and the new WBA bantamweight champion Bernardo Pinango, and we congratulate him indeed. Now, don't forget, coming up next is our IBF lightweight championship, and that features the fine young man from the Kronk stable, Jimmy Paul, the champion, defending against 9th-rated Cubanito Perez. Well, let's find out a little bit more about these two young men right now.